All right, welcome in. Night 2 of the Bearcat Journal Nightly Recap. I'm Chad Brendel, publisher, owner of BearcatJournal.com. If you're here, you probably know that. Thanks to everybody that tuned in to episode 1. And if this is any indication of how this is going to go, we're going to have a lot to talk about every night. First off, rankings came out today. The polls came out today. The CFP ranking, the important one, will be on Tuesday night, and we will be here to talk about that when it happens. Crazy weekend in college football. Almost got complete chaos, but clearly the biggest thing that happened, Michigan beating Ohio State, that presumably takes Ohio State out of the mix for the college football playoff. I would assume on Tuesday that Michigan will jump Cincinnati and just kind of replace Ohio State. The question becomes, does Cincinnati move ahead of Bama after Alabama struggled pretty mightily, had to go 4 overtimes with a now 6-loss Auburn team? So would they put Cincinnati in over Alabama and making Cincinnati 3rd? I don't think so. I think you'll see Cincinnati stay at 4. If you see Cincinnati stay at 4, that means Michigan moved in. I just have a hard time seeing Bama at 2 with what they've shown so far. So, I mean, that part's going to be pretty interesting. But I don't think at this point, there's any way Cincinnati's not somewhere in the top 4. The question is, will they be at, for me, the question is, will they be at 3 or 4? And my guess is that they'll be at 4. So we'll see how that goes. Senior Bowl. Oh, the polls, yeah. Cincinnati, number 3 in the AP poll, ahead of Michigan. Number 4 in the coaches poll, with Michigan basically replacing Ohio State. Senior Bowl. Six Bearcats get their invitations to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, that first weekend of February, and it's going to be a big day for the Cincinnati football program. Big day. 6 guys. You get Myjai Sanders, you get Alec Pierce, you get Brian Cook, you get Kobe Bryant, you get Desmond Ridder, and you get Darian Beavers. So that is massive. And that entire week is basically going to be a commercial for the program, because you're going to see a lot of those guys get a lot of airtime. And it will also be interesting to see where Cincinnati stacks up with number of guys. The invitations are still going out. They're not all public yet. So it'll be interesting to see where Cincinnati is in terms of the most guys at the Senior Bowl. And I believe there's still a couple options that could be added, guys that are technically seniors. If they declare for the draft, I believe they can be added. So similar to, I think, James Hudson last year. So we'll see how that goes. Coaching carousel. Woo. So much going on today. Our old pals, Mike Bone and Brandon Sosna, with by far the loudest shot of the day as they go into Norman, Oklahoma, and get Lincoln Riley to reportedly be the next coach at USC. That opens up Oklahoma. You still have LSU open. Florida filled by Billy Napier from Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. Here's the thing, and I think Dave Simone talked about this some. Is there any reason for me to believe Luke Fickell is a major factor for either LSU or Oklahoma? So far, I mean, I'm sure he's on their list, right? If you're a competent athletic director at a major program and you have an opening, Luke Fickell's on your list. There's nothing that indicates, any direct ties to Luke Fickell in either of those jobs. So while I'm not like overly concerned, there has to be some level of concern because two of the biggest jobs in the sport, the two top 5 jobs, are now sitting open, and it's not a great coaching market right now. So they're going to be looking at Luke Fickell. Like I said, do I have any indication Luke Fickell has interest in either of those jobs? No. Would he listen if either of them came calling? I would assume he would. I mean, why wouldn't, if that's your profession, and two of the top 5 jobs in your profession want to talk, you probably talk. And he's got Jimmy Sexton as his agent now. Like, that's how this game is played. I think what's working in Cincinnati's favor right now is time, because they're not going to be able to get to him at least until the American Athletic Conference Championship is over on Saturday. And if Cincinnati wins, the odds are really good that they're going to find themselves in the college football playoff Sunday at noon. So are these schools going to be willing to wait out whatever Luke Fickell decides? And as high pressure as those jobs are, I can't see, I mean, Oklahoma, you would guess, would probably have a little bit more of a window, because that happened today. Like, perfect example is USC. That job's been open for months. They were really the first major job on the market. They had to make something happen now. You have to think LSU is feeling some of the heat. You don't let your coach go weeks before the end of the regular season and then go 2-3 weeks after your final game and not have your guy yet. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So if you're a Cincinnati fan, the biggest thing you can root for, win on Saturday. And win, it doesn't have to be, I don't think, like a blowout, but win with enough confidence that you're pretty sure when that stuff is announced on Sunday that you're in the playoff, and Luke Fickell's not going to entertain jobs while his team still has something so important to play for. But it's college football. Like, this is how the system works. You have to at least raise your eyebrows knowing a place like LSU and a place like Oklahoma, they're looking for coaches. And if they're looking for coaches, they are looking at Luke Fickell. So, yeah, do I think it's something to like freak out about now? No. Do I think it's something to monitor? Yeah, I think you have to. You have to keep your ear to the ground and see the way that the winds are blowing. But on a lot of these things, at this level, LSU is probably a little different because everything that happens there kind of plays out publicly. Oklahoma, we don't know what a coaching search at Oklahoma really looks like. They haven't really done one since 1999 when they hired Bob Stoops. So, level of concern, I would say a 4 or 5, somewhere in that range. But just the understanding that keep your head on a swivel, because there's people out there coming for your girlfriend. And, when you have a hot girlfriend, that's how it works. Really, I think that's about it for today. Just a little bit of stuff going on, just a tiny bit. But we will see you back here tomorrow, see what else unfolds for day 3 of the Bearcat Journal Nightly Recap. I'm Chad Brendel, BearcatJournal.com, 75% off through tomorrow night at BearcatJournal.com. Click join, get yourself a membership, become part of the best community of Bearcat fans on the internet.